414 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you have played it at all this past year, or maybe you're looking forward to playing next year again, hopefully in person. We are here for you.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's show, it is our 2020 Chrimby Awards.
That's right. It is our annual show celebrating the best and the weirdest and the worst that has happened in Magic in the past year.
Yes, if a card or a deck or an event wins a Chrimby, it is highly prestigious, on par with an Oscar.
That's right. These are, and we quote ourselves, the Oscars of Magic the Gathering.
You thought maybe that was the Hall of Fame ceremonies. No.
Absolutely not. No. Under
It's
no
the Chrimbys.
circumstances. It's the Chrimbys for sure.
I have put on my disco lighting to celebrate the Chrimbys this year behind me. If you're watching the video version,
Yeah.
I kind of like it. Who knows? I might keep it, but
It looks great.
Yeah. We've got some fabulous awards this year. Many of the hit Chrimbys from 2019 will be returning, as well as new Chrimby categories that our patrons and listeners of the show have suggested.
That's right. Speaking of, before we get started, we have some people to thank. First and foremost amongst them are the listeners and patrons of this show.
Fabulous use of amongst. I am a huge fan of these older words like amongst, whilst.
Is amongst an old word?
Yeah, because this form of the word is slowly dying out. So amongst, whilst,
Fair enough.
Changed into while.
The game isn't called Amongst Us. But I really wish it was.
Hey, let's play some Amongst Us.
I really wish.
I've sabotaged the bean field. Have you done your task of feeding the horse?
Oh, great. Amongst Us.
Amongst Us. Yeah, I can't think of what it's called, but there's one that's slept. That's one we still use. Slept instead of sleeped or whatever. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is you can become a patron over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic before the end of the year. Get it in there.
Yes, and thank you so much to everyone who has become a patron in the last week. That includes Victor. Shout out to Victor. Kimberly. Shout out to Kimberly. And Johan. Shout out to Johan.
Yay! Thank you so much for joining our Patreon family, new patrons. It's just that easy to do. It takes about 5 minutes, and it's a wonderful end of the year goodbye 2020 gift for us.
Exactly. You know what? This year, you should be, honestly, getting everyone you know a goodbye 2020 gift.
Yeah, it's like a New Year's present, but it's like even more impactful here in 2020.
Exactly. It's like good day. Good day.
It's called the Good Riddance gift.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
BRB,
That's
I have to
canon.
go order Good Riddance gifts for everybody.
Yeah. Thank you as well to our sponsor, Card Kingdom, who's been with us all through 2020, despite everything that went down, which was quite a lot this year. A lot of businesses, including Card Kingdom, of course, had like struggles because of shutdowns and then supply chain issues and then everything you can imagine. Card Kingdom stood by us the whole time. They're a fantastic sponsor. We encourage you to go check them out. Buy whatever you need for your end of the year. What did I call it? For when you buy your Good Riddance gift, please consider Card Kingdom. Just go to cardkingdom.com/GLHF.
Oh my goodness.
And you'll find everything you could ever want for a Good Riddance gift. Fast shipping, great customer service. Say good luck high five in your order. They'll give you a sticker or a token. Fabulous people, fabulous company, and a really good Riddance gift.
Excellent. No better place to get a Good Riddance gift.
All right, everybody, it's time for the 2020 Chrimbys.
That's right. Oh, you know, Maria, we had to do some remembering just of like which sets came out this year. Because,
you know, we've said a lot of times on the show, time isn't real.
Time isn't real. So
during a pandemic,
the sets that came out this year were Theros Beyond Death in January. Mystery Boosters happened in March. Ikoria was April. Core Set 2021 in Jumpstart or July. Double Masters in August. Zendikar Rising in September. And Commander Legends in November.
Wow, that is a lot of magical sets released in
Yes.
2020. It's kind of impressive given everything that happened.
It really is.
When we were compiling this list, I completely had forgotten about mystery boosters, which
Yes.
happened basically before everything got locked down.
And we completely forgot about Jumpstart.
Jumpstart, even though that was, we got to play that on Arena, which was pretty cool.
Mystery boosters weren't in March
When were they?
last year.
They were 2019?
Yes, they were.
No way.
Yeah. They were Richmond in that place that we were at.
Hold on, let me look this
You
up.
remember? Okay. We
Yeah.
were at Mythic Championship 6 or 7.
The retail edition was released in March.
In March. There we go.
The convention edition was released in November of 2019.
There we go. Figured it out.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
Okay.
But yeah, I had totally forgotten about them, which I guess makes a little sense because we had been playing them in person in the convention centers. I never played like the store version or anything like that. But when we are considering our Chrimbys, keep this in mind, everybody. We are mostly considering the sets that are not supplemental. So, mystery booster card names, like they could have won best card name for like everything. Double Masters, not going to include in that. It's reprints mostly. Yeah. Commander Legends, not going to include in it.
We're talking about like the hot shots of the Magic year.
The hot shots, the main sets for standard Magic.
Theros, Ikoria, Zendikar, and like also Core Set 2021. Even though it's like less splashy, but still important for constructed.
We do have a Jumpstart card in here, which is winning a very important category, but that's because that's kind of like an outlier. It just had to win.
That's true. It very, very much did. And you'll see why when we get there.
Yeah. Hopefully you've donned your gayest apparel for our Chrimbys as we announce them
All
this
the
year.
apparel I wear is gay.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way. A beautiful hat, some really big sunglasses, because you partied hard the night before the Chrimbys and you regret everything.
But then also you're going to party the night of the Chrimbys
because
that's the way it has to go. It's like the Oscars. Nonstop partying for days.
I would love to see cards walking the red carpet, personally.
Same. I wonder what designers they would wear.
Dressed up in their best silver borders.
Great. Yes.
Their
best alt art frames.
So let's start off with the best Chrimby and the biggest Chrimby of them all, which is the best set.
Wow, Maria. And you started off with this one. What a banger of a category. And it is none other than Ikoria.
Yay, Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths. Congratulations on your Chrimby. You win best set because your innovation was incredible, your flavor and design was incredible, and basically your kind of deviance from the norm of Magic the Gathering and you're willing to take risks and that kind of thing resulted in a really cool, fun, splashy set that busted down barriers, sometimes a little too many barriers in Magic the Gathering.
A little too much busting.
A little too much. Yeah, we're going to get to that later. But I loved Ikoria because of the mutate mechanic was super cool. I loved all of the new beasties and visiting this new world that we had never been to before. And I loved the way that they were playing around with Companion, even though it did have to undergo a rules change. I give them a thumbs up for experimenting in that space.
Yes. Next up, we have the best set for draft, which is, in my mind, maybe perhaps more important than best set because I draft so much. And the best set for drafting is none other than Zendikar Rising. What?
Congratulations.
What a delight to draft. I have yet to tire of it, and I don't even know how many drafts I've done of it. But
Zendikar Rising is great.
It's a lot of drafts.
Hello, I can draft Black-White Clerics, which is all I want to do when I hop into a Zendikar Rising queue.
Really? I'm all about those blue-black rogues.
Ooh, have you made a super good rogues deck?
So many times.
I've never done it.
Really?
I've never done it.
Oh, rogues is like, rogues is like any time that I'm lucky enough to end up in that seat, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get 7 wins. Like it's just going to happen. And it does.
So do you get Zareth? How does your rogues draft start?
Okay. right? You just kind of need, that's what I love about it, is that you don't need that rare. You just need like Soaring Thought Thief. Like Zulaport Cutthroat is legitimately really good in it.
Great.
Nimana Sky Dancer, some Lul Mage's Domination, maybe if you can get it into the Royal, right? It's just so tempo-y. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
A tempo deck and draft, there are far few, wait, what am I
Few
trying to
and
say?
far between.
Few and far between more fun draft archetypes, in my opinion, than a fun tempo draft deck.
It's so much fun. So much fun.
I also gave a runner-up award here to Mystery Booster, which I guess we can put in the categories of 2019 and 2020 because of its spanning of its official release, store release, and convention release. But that set was a blast to draft.
Yeah, a really good time.
Did you draft Mystery Booster, Megan?
Yeah, just once or twice.
Oh man, I was like, if we got a second at the convention center, I'm like, hop in, do a Mystery Booster draft, hop back out, get in there, do another Mystery Booster draft. It was just wild.
Dang.
The cards in that set were just completely bonkers.
Very, very cool. Moving on, next up is our card of the year.
Ooh, this is a pretty good category.
Yeah, Maria, who's it going to?
This year in 2020, the card of the year goes to, drumroll please, Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath.
Ooh, wow. What?
Could it really
what
be
a
any other card?
No, it really couldn't. I mean, it could
Honestly.
maybe be Omnath.
Yeah.
You could make an argument for it, but Uro is just a beast.
Uro was /was
3 mana. 3 mana. 3 mana. Comes back from your graveyard.
comes back to hit you again. Can't ever get rid of it.
Do it all the time. It just does it again and again. It's just like, let's party on, man. I may be down, but I'm not out.
Uro also does everything. I think is an important thing to note about Uro, besides being annoying and unkillable. It gains you life. It draws you cards. It ramps you.
Yes.
It comes back from the dead. That's basically all.
And the only other like elder giant that we have like him right now is Croxa.
Croxa.
And every time, like, I get it. Croxa is also a good card.
Love Croxa.
There's some decks built around it, but it's so funny because every time someone plays a Croxa against me, especially in Historic, I'm like, it only does the one thing. I'm just like, oh, okay, I have to discard, and I get to pick what card I'm discarding? Like, do I care?
I'm not drawing a card. Excuse me, I'm not gaining life.
It's just so funny to me that like
ramping?
the power level of them is so different. I'm just like Croaks. I'm like, okay, I'll discard. Oh no.
That's some shade thrown against Croxa
I know,
as well, right there.
I really am.
I'm a huge Croxa fan. Think the card is super cool, but you just can't say no to Uro as card of the year.
Not hold a candle to Uro.
It has a home in almost all of the top decks of the year.
Yeah.
It's just mega powerful and RIP, you know?
Yeah. That brings us to ban of the year, which is a hot topic for a year that has 50 something bans. Okay, not actually 50, but it feels like it.
I mean, it might be. Did you count them?
It's definitely not 50, but it's like, it's up there.
We talked about this on the Upkeep this year. We will run through all of the bans from this year as one of the biggest news stories of the year. Of course, all of the bans. 2019, also a huge year for bans. This year, of course, you could nominate a million cards for this award. We've got a couple of contenders in here.
So Maria, who did you bring to the table?
I brought to the table Omnath, Locus of Creation.
Yes. You know, they banned Uro, and everyone was like, why did you not ban Omnath also, like while you were at it? And then it was something, it's like 2 or 3 weeks later. It's like a negligible amount of time. They were
you were at the store and you didn't also get milk? Why?
Yeah,
but you were at the store.
However, my contender, Teferi Time Raveler.
Little Teferi, little T.
Banned in, also like Omnath, banned in Standard, banned in Historic, banned in Brawl.
Yeah, this was interesting to find out when these happened. Teferi happened in August. Omnath's bans happened in October.
Like, Teferi, what a... And I'm a
Teferi
person who likes to play spells
card.
on other people's turns. And the fact that Teferi stops me makes me so mad, even though sometimes he let me. Like, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
he was my avenue to playing sorcery speed cards on my opponent's turn, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Teferi, get out of my life.
You love to hate him.
Teferi, stop messing
You hate
with
to love him.
my life.
Yeah, I think this one is a tough one because Omnath was a very splashy card that didn't, get banned.
And I just remember
when it should have.
Right, what was it? Was it the season? No, it was the Players Tour Finals, the Mythic
The
Invitational.
season grand finals.
Was it the season grand finals? It was, where
Yes.
those top 8 matches lasted one full lifetime.
They lasted a lifetime, and when you saw the deck doing its thing, it was so incredibly powerful and swingy.
Yes.
Like one person could be ahead. It was a mirror match. One
Yeah.
person is ahead. They do their thing, and then it goes back to the other person.
And now they're ahead.
Now they're ahead.
Ugh.
It was just a big splashy nightmare. Teferi, on the other hand, was a smaller, quieter, more painful nightmare. Teferi was more of a night terror. Let's put it that way. A sleep paralysis, if you will.
Paralysis. That's great. That's great.
So I think because of that, I think we have to give it to Teferi, even though Omnath is more fresh in our minds. Teferi is, I think, a more iconically hated card.
Yes, more. I love that. It is more iconically hated. And
So
it just had that thing where, like,
congratulations.
right, it was one of those planeswalkers that had a static ability that you could just forget until it ruined your life.
Oh, absolutely. Constantly forget, And
Yep.
we're just going to have to give it to Teferi. Teferi, congratulations. you
Congrats,
jerk.
buddy. That brings us to Mistake of the Year.
This is a new category for 2020, and I think one that a lot of people will enjoy.
And I'm sure
so
you can
of
see
course-
the answer to this one coming.
Of course, when this happens, there's lots of mistakes that happen when you're making a game as big as Magic and so complicated, and it's a big undertaking for a company as small as Wizards of the Coast.
Yes,
Honestly,
absolutely.
It's going to happen, and especially when you're taking risks, which we are both big fans
Yeah,
of.
we love taking risks.
Which brings us to the winner of this category, which is companions.
Companions. when you make a mistake so big, you have to completely alter the text on the card. Or
When
the
you
text,
make a mistake, go
or
ahead.
the text of the mechanic. I mean, like,
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. When you make a mistake so big that it is your number one big key splashy mechanic from your brand new world set, and you got to change it, that's got to hurt, man. It's got to hurt.
Yep, companions, man, very cool.
Very cool.
Really, really, really big mistake.
We got to say this too, though. They fixed it.
They did fix it. Companions are now great. You can play them. Sometimes they're good in some decks, but they're also not overpowering.
Not overpowering at all. Like they very rarely will get you out of any situation. Like, let me think of the number of times that I'm actually using my companion and it helps me win. Maybe like 10%.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
like,
less.
It's nice to have, but it's not always necessary. Oh, it's good now.
It's good now. Good job. Good fix, everybody.
Good fix.
Mistake of the year companions. Most busted non-bans. Speaking of all the bans of this year, some cards didn't actually make it under the hammer.
That's right. And one card that when you cast it, you win the game. Muxus.
Muxus! Well
Congratulations, you Goblin Grandee. Which is
done. The Grandee himself.
Muxus is actually 6 goblins.
Oh.
Who all
That's
share
true.
being the Goblin Grandee. But anyways, Muxus. I mean, sometimes you whiff, I guess. But
I wish that was the flavor text.
that would
Muxus
be really
has too
funny.
much text on it to actually have any flavor text. But if it did, that would be it. Sometimes you whiff.
Sometimes.
Yeah, Muxus, the headline card that makes the deck Goblins possible in Historic, an iconic deck of Historic from the format's debut,
Yeah.
and still kicking around today. Muxus.
Wow.
Great job. You win the Chrimby.
All right. That brings us to the weirdest ban of the year.
Yeah, this is a ban. When we looked back on our ban list, I was like, oh yeah, that was banned. Number one thought.
Yeah.
Second thought, what a strange card that had to be banned. If you had asked me when I saw this card previewed, would this card be banned? I would have said,
No.
you're out of your brains.
No. It's one of the great ones that goes up there with like, right, its predecessors, Attune with Ether. Where you're like,
Yep.
okay.
Wait, it's a 1-mana green spell that makes some energy.
All right. Once upon a time. I guess once upon a time you should have seen that coming. It cost no mana.
I love Once Upon a Time. Still mad about that.
If a spell says that it costs no mana, maybe be wary.
Yeah, that's the lesson I think we've learned since 2019, hopefully.
Yes. But weirdest ban, Lucky Clover.
Can you believe it?
No.
I completely forgot this card was banned. Completely.
Me too, but like, what a weird one. What
It's
a weird
a 2-mana
one.
artifact
Yeah.
that like you need lots of other
Yes.
stuff to go right before it starts being profitable for you.
I will also say it's right up there with Escape to the Wilds is like a close second.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's like, you're like, it's a 5-mana sorcery.
And then you have to wait.
You don't even get to hold on to all the cards. They just go away.
Wait a second. Yeah, both pretty odd that they ended up
Yes.
having to be banned, honestly.
Absolutely.
Next, Chrimby is one of our most beloved Chrimbys,
Yes.
which is, of course, the Chrimby for best art.
Oh, and we have a lot of contenders here because
Yes.
there's a lot of great art.
So I've got one that I think is my personal vote for Chrimby of the Year. Chrimby of the Year. Best art of the year. But let's go through what we've got, and then maybe you can give out your vote.
Yeah. So, Maria, what's your start? Wait. Did you say yours?
No, I didn't say it yet, but we've got our list. Should I just
yes.
read the list?
Yes.
Okay. So these are all nominees. Elspeth Conquers Death,
Oh.
which is a beautiful saga done in kind of the Greek tiles
Yes.
art. Really cool. We love sagas. There's
Yeah.
one other saga on here. Spoiler alert. Indulging Patrician, which is that beautiful black-white vampire card with a pink
Yeah.
sun behind this woman who's carrying a man that she's just drank in her arms. Megan, are you looking at it right now?
Yeah, I am. It's great.
What's the flavor text on it? I remember it being funny.
Oh, hold on. I just navigated away.
Oh no! I should
Okay.
actually say these artists too. So one second. I should have written it down.
Just a nibble for now. I wouldn't want to ruin my appetite.
Yep, pretty good.
Classic vamp.
Pretty good.
Classic vamp. Then we have
So the-
Metalmize.
I'm just gonna read the artist for
sorry.
Elspeth Conquers Death is Ryan Yee.
Yes.
FYI. And Indulging Patrician, I'll look it up.
Miranda Meeks.
Miranda Meeks. Excellent.
Yeah, Miranda Meeks. Then we have Metalmize Prophecy.
Excellent.
Which-
Another saga.
Yes, exactly. Oh, this one is absolutely gorgeous. Obviously a Seb McKinnon. Now that I'm
Yep.
looking at it closer, I maybe need to own a print of this. Really
It
want
is
it.
a card you would love too.
Yep, want it big time. Maria, I refuse to acknowledge the next one because I
You
think
don't
it
like
is-
this one?
It's terrifying. It's right up there for some really spooky stuff.
Sweet Oblivion. I didn't really remember this card until I was going back re-looking at Theros Beyond Death. It's a sorcery
Not
where
about
you're milling your opponent 4 cards and then you can escape it. But it's an art by Clint Kierley. It's got like 3 monsters and their bodies / faces are going away up and above them into like weird geographic forms.
Oh.
Very cool and different.
It is. It's spooky. It's spooky.
Megan's
okay,
spooked.
cool. I am spooked. I am spooked. And then, to no one's surprise, the last entry is yet another Seb McKinnon. This one's a
Non-stop
series,
bangers.
the Mythos Cycle from Ikoria.
These are beautiful. He did these too. I want to say he painted them on pieces of wood before.
Yeah, or
because he
something
wanted
like
them to
that.
look like cave paintings.
And they really, like they do. Oh, they're so cool.
And I should have noted this earlier, but we are not including alt arts in
Yeah.
this category because those would take over.
It's just,
because
yeah, and there's
they're
so many,
cool.
and they're so amazing.
Yeah.
This, okay. I feel like we're going to be at odds about this.
I know. What are we going to do? Maybe 2 cards win.
Yeah, maybe so. Because I feel like for me, it's the Mythos Cycle. Like they're just so different and and gorgeous and like really cool and so like they feel almost like they could have been an alt art for these cards.
Yeah, for sure.
Except Seb McKinnon doesn't play around, so he just made it the base art.
Seb McKinnon gets to do his own thing in Magic, which I think is cool that they let some artists
Yes.
do that.
But Elspeth
hopefully
Conquers
maybe
Death
more.
is like, I do love the way that Elspeth Conquers Death is done.
Yeah, I think my vote is still for Elspeth Conquers Death, which surprises me that I'm not voting for a Seb McKinnon because he won last year, and I do love his art so very much.
But you're right. This
But
this
the
style,
Elspeth Conquers Death for me too is really unique in that kind of fresco. What are they even called?
It's like a mosaic. Yeah,
mosaic style. Just really pretty. It reminds me of some of the art we saw when we were in Barcelona for a Magic event.
Yeah.
And we hiked up those mountains and went to that little church, and they had like saints images done in those mosaic tiles, like in the church. Do you remember that?
Yeah. You know what time it is?
Is it Molly time?
It's Molly time.
Hi, Molly. Hi, Molly.
Oh, she cleaned her face. Okay. Do you know what? I'm convinced. I'll give it to Elspeth Conquers Death.
All right, Elspeth Conquers Death. Congratulations. Yeah. You win the Chrimby for Best Art of the Year. Seb, don't worry. You'll probably win it next year.
I know. Seb McKinnon. Nonstop bangers.
Oh, gosh. This next category is another one of our favorites, which is Best Flavor Text.
It's so much fun. Maria, why don't you start us off?
Okay, we put a bunch of nominees in here because there was a lot, and I'm sure we've missed some. So let us know if you've got a favorite. You can tweet at GLHF Magic. Ichthyomorphosis, which is also a great card name, has wonderful flavor text. This was actually suggested by a listener. Flavor text: Tycho's military career was a flop. Because it's a big fish. You turn him into a big fish.
Yes. Go for it.
Okay, up next, we've got Whirlwind Denial, just your classic counterspell situation. Molly's into it.
Yeah, Molly's here for it. Oh, hi. She come visit.
Hi, Molly.
Oh.
Come here for the Chrimbys.
Molly, that's my coffee. Okay.
The flavor text for Whirlwind Denial is no, and no. Which is a joke I've seen on a couple of counter spells in Magic, but that one was just very succinct. I liked it.
Yeah. Next up is Almighty Brushwag. Laughed at the Brushwag. Hunter's expression meaning died unexpectedly.
I love that one.
It's so good.
I love
it's
that
very
one.
funny.
Oh, looks like he laughed at the Brushwag. Molly really has some opinions on this category. Next nominee is one that I called Disturbingly Prescient, which is Staggering Insight, which you wouldn't think a card like Staggering Insight has this kind of flavor text on it, but it is only cowards flee from the truth.
Nice.
Ooh, now that is a 2020 flavor text if I ever heard one.
Snap.
Know what I mean?
My next entry is Colossification.
Ooh, great card name too.
Turns out the case of the flattened outpost and the case of the missing kitten were related.
That's great. My next entry was Spontaneous Flight, which has the art of like a little flying fox. Amazing. And I was only trying to teach her to sit. Very cute. And of course, Voracious Great Shark. Don't worry, I didn't forget about it. This flavor text, there is no boat big enough. Excellent Jaws reference. Thumbs up.
Great stuff.
My vote for best flavor text, though, is going to have to go to Almighty Brushwag.
I agree. Almighty Brushwag, great flavor text.
Excellent job. And congrats to all the flavor text writers for Wizards of the Coast doing fantastic work, giving flavor and laughs and insight to our game. Every single set.
Yes.
I just love that. That's something that you get on Magic cards.
Same. Next up, related, we have Best Card Name.
Yay, great category here. A listener suggested one of the all-time faves, I'm sure, of many of our listeners, Shark Typhoon.
Ooh, just so good.
Great name. And also, like, got a quick nickname of Sharknado.
Yes. Great
really
name,
cool.
great card.
Bizarre card.
Yes.
That saw a lot of play.
We also have Ichthyomorphosis, which we saw before. A personal favorite of mine, Archipelagor.
That's a great name. Great name.
So good. So
Colossification is on this list.
Everyone's favorite name to say, Tuk Tuk Rubblefort.
I love Tuk Tuk Rubblefort.
Tuk Tuk Rubblefort.
Tuck Tuck Rebel Fort. And also like played in a weird modern deck.
Yes.
I mean, not modern, historic. Bizarre. I also put Blood Glutton on this list, which is just a fabulous name that just rolls off the tongue. Blood Glutton. Even though I had no memory of what this card was.
Same.
The name is simple and straightforward. I like it.
Maria, which is your favorite of these?
Probably Tuck Tuck Rebel Fort.
Oh, I agree. I think I agree because so I think we can give it to Tuck Tuck Rebel Fort. Okay. Because my top one is Archipelagor.
That's a great name.
But Tuck Tuck Rebel Fort is such a close second. I'm good just giving it to it.
Okay. Tuck Tuck Rebel
Who
Fort.
Who doesn't love to say Tuck Tuck Rebel Fort?
Tuck Tuck Rebel Fort.
Yes.
I'll highlight it so we remember for next year which one was our
Rebel
favorite.
Fort.
Tuck Tuck Rebel Fort.
Of course.
You somehow are playable, but not in draft.
The other side of this is a worst card name.
Yeah, there have been some bad ones over the years. Last year's winner was Raging Crunch, which could have won for best or worst, honestly.
Really
so,
one of the all-time worst / best.
Just really great. This year we had a very, very easy winner. So I'm going to give you the runner-up first, which for me was Bushmeat Poacher.
I think that's a great one. Great. Yes.
Like,
and
do you have quality control over there?
Just as like, and that's like the top. That's the top normal card because the winner was like one of the alt-named cards from Ikoria.
Yeah. Yes.
I agree. Bushmeat Poacher is just like.
Whoever named Bushmeat Poacher is the same person who named Raging Crunch.
I think you're probably right.
Okay, the winner of worst name is none other than Space Godzilla Death Corona.
Yes. Which it was just very unfortunate. Like what unfortunate timing because like Godzilla's like Corona is like his like actual, you know.
It's an actual thing.
An actual thing.
In the Godzilla lore. Yeah.
And it was named so far before, right? It was named and printed so far before coronavirus was a thing.
Yep. So sad to say it's you, Space Godzilla. You got to take the hit on this one.
Yep.
And I'm sure you saw it coming.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Best magic moment. This is a fun Chrimby that we love to give out. Okay. So best magic moment. Of course, magic was very different in 2020 because of the pandemic. And in doing so and being different, we are able to award our best magic moment, which is online tournaments.
That's right.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of really cool things because we had to adapt to a bad situation.
Yes, exactly. Like it was so cool to see the system adapt. And still being able to bring people together kind of in a way. And like,
absolutely.
No, it wasn't exactly what it should have been. But you know, it couldn't have been.
What was interesting too was the ability. Molly just is real. Does she need something?
No, this is just her jam, man. She just walks around my apartment meowing. It's kind of her thing.
She just loves the Chrimbys.
She loves the Chrimbys.
I think it's really cool that we were able to even do it. Like we had a tournament that was able to be played online, like a system that was able to be done. We could pivot, we could do it, we could shift production of all of these that people used to watch at home on Twitch, like flying out to LA or whatever to shoot these. Instead, we're all sitting in our homes with magic backdrops, recording. Being able to do all of that still is pretty cool because a lot of industries that relied on quote unquote live performance or whatever weren't able to really be as successful in maintaining their product. Yeah.
What a pivot.
Plus, we got cool things like the Arena Opens, which were super fun to play in. And we got MTG Melee, which is a fabulous tournament software system. Yeah. So props to the people who are behind that. And I don't know. Yeah, we were talking about this a bit on the upkeep, but like, you know, part of me is like, sometimes like maybe let's just do it online in the future.
Yeah, right. I think like my hope, once things are able to go back to being in person is that we get a mix of in person and online events, because I think that there's a way that having some amount of online tournament play like facilitates people being able to better work that into their lives.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And there's really something to be said for that, I think.
Next category is fan favorite cutest card.
Ooh, and there are some cute cards.
There were a lot of cute cards this year. We were not lacking in them. Some of the nominees are Farfinder,
AKA
Unbreakable Bond, aka the good little fox.
Yeah, or I was gonna say Skits 2.
Yeah, Skits 2, for sure.
Yeah, Skits 2, the skitsening.
And Skits won for best was cutest card 2019, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So Farfinder is like Skittering Surveyor. They do the exact same thing. Unbreakable Bond is one I put on here that didn't even receive a runner-up during its set. But Judge Rob was like, hey, have you thought about Unbreakable Bond? And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so right. That card is
so
really,
cute.
really cute.
She's pulling a little arrow out of his arm. And
it's like a big teddy bear.
Yeah.
It's their best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cute. Canyon Jerboa, Magic's
Obviously.
number one mouse.
Yeah.
Hello.
Magic's number one mouse.
And only, other than tokens. And Pride Melkin, of course, the Pride Steppin' Kitty Cat.
Oh my goodness. Like, Pride Malkin is so cute.
Pride Melkin, I love its little prance.
Like
it's definitely prancing.
it's just how high stepping it is.
It's strutting.
Like Pride Malkin looks so proud of himself. He's just like, I'm a good cat.
Look at me.
I'm a good cat.
I did it. I was a cute cat.
Yep.
I mean, how on earth can I choose from this list?
I know. They're all so cute.
How on earth? Okay, well, we're just going to go with our gut from 2019 to 2020 and give it to Farfinder. What?
No.
What? You like that fox?
I
That
do.
fox is really cute.
Obviously, I love that fox. That fox is very cute. But for me, it's Unbreakable Bond. It's so cute.
I was going to say Unbreakable Bond, but I didn't think you would agree.
I think it should be Unbreakable Bond.
All right, it's Unbreakable Bond.
Yes.
All right, we did that. We did an Oscars where we announced the best picture, and it was wrong.
Oh no, we pulled a La La Land.
We pulled the La La Land. Yeah, Unbreakable Bond, I think, is a great one for cutest card for 2020, especially because the pandemic proved that our bond is unbreakable.
That's right. Oh,
even through a pandemic. There
so
you go.
Cute.
Unbreakable Bond.
Grossest card, Aspect of Lamprey. I forgot about it, and I wish that I had been able to forget about it for forever. But I saw it again.
I forgot you hated it so much.
It's so terrible. It fits my criteria of like bio things not being where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, you really don't like that.
Nope.
I thought for sure it was going to be escape. No. Eat to oblivion or something like that.
Oh, that's true. Eat to oblivion. Eat to extinction.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Eat to Extinction is also pretty bad. It's like made of mouths.
Yeah, it's a mouth made of mouths.
Yeah, it's just okay.
Horrifying.
No, that one's also
Just
very
horrifying.
bad. Like Croxa is also just like made of mouths also. Okay, do you
Croxa's
know what?
made
It
of
might be
mouths?
Croxa because Croxa really fits the criteria of things being where they shouldn't, because Croxa just has mouths all up and down his legs.
Oh, gross! He does.
Yes.
I've never looked at him that closely.
Well, don't.
Hold on, I'm pulling
Okay,
him
it
up.
goes to
No, I'm
Croxa.
doing it right. I'm doing it right now.
Because Eat to Extinction is just part of Croxa, is like a close up. Okay, it's Croxa.
Oh, you're right,
No,
he does.
I've thought about it, and
Sick.
do you know why I forgot? Is because Croxa, you can like just kind of like not focus your eyes and you can deny what's
On
going
his
on.
legs. And Eat to Extinction is Croxa's head.
Yeah, exactly.
So
All
there
right,
we go.
it's Croxa.
Oh my God, you guys, I've never looked at Croxa this closely before. It is disgusting.
Yeah, it's so gross.
How did I play with this card?
It's so
Yuck.
gross.
All right, let's do a palate cleanser here.
Yes.
Whew. Card that is most surprisingly good.
Ooh, and this is for draft, and it has got like hands. This answer is hands down for me. Like,
yeah, I love this answer.
Stonework Pack Beast.
Yeah.
This is the 2-mana artifact creature that's like it can be it can be any part of the party.
Yeah, any part of the party. It's a party in a box.
Yes,
a party in a beast.
party in a box.
Honestly.
If you want that card, you have to pick it the first time you see it because it will not
Yes.
come around.
It will never come around. It works in every deck, no matter what.
Yes.
Even if you're not doing party, you probably have a card in your deck that cares about party.
And it'll be like randomly good.
There you go. Yep, it'll be randomly good, and you'll really be happy you have a Stonework Pet.
Usually, you would say 2 mana artifact 2/1 is like not even a 23rd card.
Yeah, it'd be like 25th.
This card, you pick it. You pick it early.
Oh, you want that card. You want that beast.
It's so good.
I love this card.
So good.
Best reprint is our next category.
Yes.
This is a fun category.
Ooh, and it is, as soon as we knew we were going back to Theros, we were like, it had better be. He better be there.
He better be.
He better be there. And he was.
He will come out. Gary.
Gary, Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Oh,
love this card.
It wouldn't be Theros without him.
It really wouldn't.
No.
And despite the fact that he had been moved to uncommon from his common spot.
That's right.
I never actually got to play him in a deck because people knew how good he was right from the jump. And they took him and they picked him early. And he's, of course, great.
He is great.
I played a cool mono black deck with him for a while, which was just kind of a fun deck. It wasn't super good. But gosh darn if Gary isn't a fun card.
He is a fun card. Gary, you're a fun
guy.
dude. What a fun
Gary, a
dude.
lot of people might be scared of you because you're coming back from the underworld with your weird mask carrying a sack of what? Human remains? We're not sure, but
wow, you didn't have to say that.
I mean, what do you think's in a sack?
I don't want to talk about it.
I retract that question. We have another nominee for this category.
Yes, which is runner-up Eugene the Spirit Dragon.
Yay, Eugene.
We love Eugene. He's a great card.
We love him.
Like, what a great dragon. Just a good guy.
Just a really good dragon.
Yeah.
I can't even, it's like very rare that I would like a card that kills everything, but I can't be mad.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at Eugene. It's just too cool.
Yeah. He's a cool dude. All right, next up is, do you remember this rare?
I love this category because this is rares that we forgot existed.
Yes. Maria, who did you forget existed?
I forgot Enigmatic Incarnation.
Don't know what that is or what it does.
Great. I've picked one that you don't remember either, so we both don't remember this card. Let's pull it up and take a peek at Enigmatic Incarnation. It's an enchantment, of course, highly forgettable.
Yes.
2 green, blue for a rare. At the beginning of your end step, if you may sacrifice another enchantment. Okay, never playing it. If you do, search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus a sacrificed enchantment's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield and shuffle your library.
Okay. I guess I believe you that it exists.
What a garbage card.
Yeah.
Just throw it right in the trash.
Okay, but Maria, do you remember this guy? Dalakos, Crafter of Wonders.
I actually do.
You do?
Of course. Yes, it was a red-blue card that you never played. That's what I remember.
Do you know what set it was from?
Nope. No, I do not.
Take a guess.
It was from Core Set 2021.
It was not.
Okay.
It was
Nope,
from
no
Theros. Dalakos, Crafter of Wonders, 1 blue-red for a legendary creature, Merfolk Artificer, a 2/4, tap, add 2 colorless, spend this mana only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. Equipped creatures you control have flying and haste.
Yep, I remember I drafted him once because I was like, oh, I'm going to do this cool rare thing. No, you're just not going to do it. It's just
not
not
happening.
It's bad. It's bad.
Bad and weird.
A related category is this card doesn't exist.
Okay, so Scryfall says that it exists. Okay, Arena says that it exists and it's not in my collection. But do you know what? No one has ever played against me, nor have I ever seen in a draft pack Angel of Destiny.
I remember this card a little more than you, but nobody has ever played against me and I've never drafted it.
I know technically what it does, but do you know what, Maria? I think that it's a myth. I think it's a myth and it doesn't actually exist.
Here's my vote. Aura, Skyclave Hierophant. Do you remember this card?
Yes. 2 black, white, lifelink. And when a cleric you control dies, you can return from your graveyard to the battlefield a cleric with a lesser converted mana cost.
Very good.
Because I had this in when we played the pre-release.
Oh,
I had that card.
Sure. Okay, so for me, that card does not exist. Never seen it. Never opened it. I went past it on Scryfall. I'm like, what is this card? And I've never encountered it in my life. So there you go.
Yeah.
This card doesn't exist
It
anymore.
does not exist.
Just doesn't exist. The next category is one of our favorite Chrimby categories since the beginning of the Chrimbys, which is the Marshall Sutcliffe Award for Best Elk.
Oh, and is there a better elk out there than Auspicious Starrix?
I love Auspicious Starrix. What a great card. A fantastic reason to play Mutate decks in Ikoria. By the way, all the elks from 2020 in Ikoria.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
He's so big, is a big and cute elk.
And it's a fun card too because you spin the wheel with it.
Exactly.
So.
And you get to put something into play when it mutates. It is very cool. What a good elk. Auspicious Starrix. Congrats.
Meghan, this next award is really for you.
Yes. The Siege Rhino Award for Least Missed. This is a card that when we finally get to say goodbye to it, we shall never look back and miss it. We shall never. And that is none other than Uro. He's not gone yet, but I wish that the door would hit him on the butt on the way out already.
I know it. I think you are not alone, and I bet a majority of Magic players would be happy to see this bro go.
Let us... Hey, Uro, bro, go.
Hey, Uro, get your bro gone. We just don't want you anymore.
Bro,
sorry,
go.
Sorry, buddy.
Uro, bro, no.
Bro, no.
Bro, no. Uro,
That's maybe that's what we should call the award. Bro, no.
Bro, no. Uro, good day.
The next category is one of my favorites, which is Wish It Had Made a Splash. This is a card you wished you could have brewed around that would have made a deck in a competitive way.
Yes.
Of course, you can always make a fun deck. This one I was expecting to make a splash, and it never did.
Yeah. And
Luminous Broodmoth.
I think a lot of people are with you on that one.
Yes, I know I'm not alone because I remember Reed Duke talking about this card saying, oh, after rotation, Luminous Broodmoth might actually make it into decks and everything. And it just never, ever did.
And it's such a cool card. It's it's so pretty. I love the Mothra version of it.
Oh,
it's super
absolutely.
cool. And the original art is very cool. And it did seem like it should have been somehow great. And it just didn't really do anything.
It just never did anything.
Yeah.
2 white for a 3/4 flyer. Whenever a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. The flying counter on it. That's awesome. Why was it never good?
I don't know.
Uro.
I don't know.
I'm gonna blame Earl.
Yeah. My other submission, which we did see this card sometimes in historic red-green aggro, but never enough for me, was Galia of the Endless Dance.
It's a fabulous card.
I know, this is like the little hasty satyr who gives other satyrs haste, and you get to draw cards and discard and draw cards. I think I just wish that we had been able to see more of Galia.
And a great art on Galia too, super funny.
Yeah.
Do you remember the person cosplaying as Galia at the Players Tour, and then got so excited when we were playing the game of Spin the Wheel that when she spun it off of the chair it was sitting on, it fell onto the ground and everything collapsed live on Twitch.
That's great. That's great. Classic.
What
a Galia move.
Yeah, very Galia. It was on brand. A card both Meghan and Maria most likely to play.
Ooh, this one, as soon as it came to me, I was like, inspiration. Merfolk Windobber.
Absolutely.
You love it because it's a little 1-drop that attacks. I love it because you can draw a card with it.
It's great. I love it. Put a curiosity on that, curious obsession on that, I mean. Boom, go to town.
Man, or sacrifice it and draw a card, no,
whatever floats your boat. Merfolk Windobber will be your boat.
And it will float your boat.
Best new mechanic. This is a great category. Maybe we should put this up near the top. But I think the clear winner here is a mechanic we hope to see much into the future. And I know we will already. We already know we will. Modal double-faced cards.
Like what? Ooh, I can't believe it took so long for us to see them. And now that they're here, it's of course.
Of course they're here. And of course they're brilliant. And of course they're great in every deck. We love this design. Mm-hmm. It just covers everything you possibly want a card to do in Magic. And hopefully they become a card type that we see in almost every set moving forward, just like we're seeing sagas.
Oh, they're so cool. And agreed. I just hope that we see them constantly.
Which leads us to most innovative card design.
Yeah. So I feel like this one was kind of hard to come up with because I feel like in general, the most innovative stuff is like in this case, companions just come to mind, right? It's not one specific card. Sure. It's just like the general idea of companions so shook up the game of Magic that it busted it completely.
Yes, 100%. I think this is very true. What a great idea that unfortunately was a little too good.
Yes, exactly. Like it was just too good, but it's because it was so outside the box.
Yes.
What a cool thing.
We love Illuna, Apex of Wishes, Obosh the Prey Piercer, Lurrus of the Dream Den, all of them.
Yeah, Illuna was one that I threw in there. That's one of the mutate ones, kind of like Auspicious Starix. But that had the mutate that when you put on it, like then you look for it goes through for a permanent and puts it into play. Yeah. Like pretty cool. Yes. But pretty just cool. Not companion level cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. Most flavorful card design is up next. And for this, we have selected Aliros Enrapture.
I just love this. I love when a card is just like, you're like, oh, I get it. Right? It's Narcissus. Yeah. Oh, I love it. You
see the through line.
It's great. And he just he looks at his reflection and he's just trapped looking at his reflection until his reflection goes away.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Oh, it's so good. It's so flavorful. What a great fun piece of Greek mythology to get in Theros. What a good time.
Big fan. Yeah. Big fan. And it kind of leads us into weirdest card, which is another beloved category of the Chrimbys. This card also is very flavorful, but it's also very weird. And that is 9 lives.
9 lives. I love it. I love cards that mess with ways that you can lose the game.
Yeah.
Right? There was Demonic Pact back in the day.
Yes.
One of the 4 options that you had to choose was eventually you lose the game.
And you have to choose it.
Yes. 9 lives. 1 white for a hexproof enchantment. If a source would deal damage to you, prevent that damage and put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. When there are 9 or more incarnation counters on 9 lives, exile it. When 9 lives leaves the battlefield, you lose the game.
And just bizarre that this weird card ended up being in a good deck.
That's right, which we will get to in a little bit for its own category, but just so cool.
A runner-up was Thassa's Oracle, another kind of bizarre win con attached to a card there that also ended up being very good. So maybe there's a trend here. If the card is bizarre enough, it'll make a deck.
Exactly. Figure it out. Next up, we have Most Broken in Draft.
I love this category. I have 2 cards in here because both of them, once you cast them, your opponent
is just so
can't
mad.
Win the game.
Yes.
I don't think there's very few, maybe you're 2% to win. Dream Trawler.
Yep.
You ever played against that in draft? Bet you didn't have a fun game. You click the sad face on arena after that
when they're
game.
like, did you enjoy this game? And you're like, no.
No. Sad face.
Yes.
I've never beaten it. And also Sublime Epiphany.
That card, I have to say, as surprising as this is, I think I have to pick Sublime Epiphany as the winner because that's the one that I remember the feeling of. It happens and you're just like, never mind.
Okay, how am I supposed to win now? It's just literal impossible.
I've had Sublime Epiphany swap the game 180 degrees from winning to losing. It's just complete rotation. Goodbye. So long to that game.
Good riddance award. Sublime Epiphany, most broken card in draft.
In one of the Arena Cube drafts the other day, I cast a Sublime Epiphany with all 5 modes.
All right.
It was amazing.
You love that cube draft.
Yeah.
You love it. Next up is our favorite pick one, pack one in draft.
And we each have a winner for this.
We each have a winner because, of course, our drafting styles are slightly different. Mine, I've already mentioned, Cleric of Life Spawn. Give me a pack one, pick one, slam it, let's do it.
And that mirrors you preferring to draft clerics, and mine mirrors my preferring to draft rogues because mine is Soaring Thought Thief.
Great.
Love me.
2 mana.
Love me that little flash flyer, man.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
This next award was suggested by one of our patrons, the best bear, which is the best 2/2 for 2. And I will give this caveat here. I pulled up a list. Some of these are not going to actually, these are all in standard.
Yeah.
So some of them are going to be from 2019. But the other caveat is I think there was one true bear printed this year.
Yes.
Which has no abilities, just a 2/2 for 2, which is Walking Corpse from M21. All of these other bears
are not true
abilities.
Bears. Yeah.
Not true bears, but, I've got to give it to me personally. I feel like, okay, Clerics of Life Spawn is in this category, everybody, all right? We all know that.
Yep.
The one that had the biggest impact was Charming Prince.
Yes.
But I want to say...
But what if you give it to Alpine Watchdog because he's so good?
Oh, yeah, Charming Prince was also like Justin Throne of Eldraine, never
Yeah.
mind. Yeah, Alpine Watchdog is the winner for sure.
Like, because he's the closest to being a true bear because only has vigilance.
Yep.
But just like a little 2/2 for 1 and a white, and he's so good.
And he does have vigilance because he's watching out for you on the mountain.
He's a little...
If you get too cold, he give you nice Manhattan from his little drinks container.
You know how those dogs in that cask around their neck have
mixed drinks
in them.
They have just really nice mixed cocktails. You thought it was like brandy or just some knock. No, it is a fully mixed cocktail. It is a
full-on mixed cocktail. Congratulations.
Oh, I'm going to get trapped on a mountain. BRB.
Oh, great. Great.
Best 23rd card. Another great listener suggestion.
And like we mentioned, like Stonework Pack Beast would have at one point in time been this card, but it is not. Instead, it is another artifact, Spare Supplies.
Spare supplies. Sometimes you just got to crack it, draw some cards, put it in 23rd.
Exactly. Like, do you know what? At least it draws you cards and you can play it in any color.
Yep. Great 23rd card. Congrats, Spare Supplies. You really did it. Most Maria card is the next award. This one will surprise nobody. We're not including the historic drops in this because otherwise it would be Core Spirit Dancer. The most Maria card is Staggering Insight.
Gotta love it. What a great boggle.
Gotta love it. It's a great boggly enabler. Put it on, gain life, draw cards. Does it all.
That leads us into the most Meghan card, which is Roost of Drakes. Are you telling me that there's a way that I can win a game without casting a creature spell?
I see.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
It's also just a super cool card.
It's such a cool card, and do you know what? I love it. I love it a lot.
This category is most what is this card of 2020.
And it is Ruin Crab. More like
what is this card?
Ruin My Life Crab.
Hello, it's a little O3 that you must kill.
You mean I'm gonna run around using a Vanquish the Week on this crab?
You mean I have to worry about a small mill creature? What is this card?
Crab? 3 cards. It mills 3 cards. Do you know how many cards that is?
1 mana for a card that will win you the game.
Do you know what?
1.
The only problem with Zendikar Rising Draft is that a deck with 2 Ruin Crabs is impossible to beat. You can't do it. There isn't a way.
I'm pretty sure I saw Luis Scott Vargas pick a Ruin Crab extremely highly in a team draft.
I would pick one a Ruin Crab.
What is this card?
What is
Congratulations, Rude Cap. Next up, what is this deck?
Yes.
2020.
And this is an old one.
Yeah, it is.
But it happened this year.
And by the way, it happened this year and was alive for only about a week, I want to say.
Yes.
Before it was completely gone. It was like it walked into the room, turned around. It walked into the room, destroyed it, turned around and left.
Yes. Garuda Doom of Depths deck.
Do you remember this deck?
Yes, it was like the weird combo deck. And then you put like 8 Garudas in play.
Yes, you just Garuda, spin the wheel, Garuda, and it was like impossible to beat.
Sorry, I know that maybe you see me looking out the window if you're watching the video. There's an enormous raven the size of a chicken on this branch right outside my window.
Meghan, ask it what it wants.
What does it want? What do you want? I should bring them something. I should give them snacks.
You should give it snacks.
They would remember.
If you make a crow or a raven your friend, you'll get little buttons for life. You'll never have to buy another button.
That's so nice.
Think about
I
that.
love buttons. After we're done with this, I'm going to go throw them some peanuts. Anyways.
Okay, great. The Garuda deck, if you remember it, it's because you got wrecked by it and then you were left sitting there like, wait, what just happened to me?
Yeah.
And I remember talking about this deck when it came out and being like, Meghan, what are we going to do? We're going to have to ban it. It's way too good. Everybody's winning. It's destroying the ladder. And then it was inexplicably gone.
It evaporated.
Evaporated the next day. Anyway.
The next category is Deck of the Year.
Yeah. Wow. What a prestigious category.
Oh, Deck of the Year. And there are two contenders. The first,
yes,
the Omnath deck. That standard Omnath nightmare that we spent one full lifetime watching.
Yeah, I mean, it's really shocking that this 5-color card, 5 mana, 5 colors, turned out to be completely castable, totally fine, was not a drawback, and led to games that were massive, that were swingy, that were explosive, that were just complete and utter nonsense, that played out like you were watching Legacy.
Yeah.
Like just the absurd things you could do in a turn.
Ugh.
All because that was this Omnath deck.
It was. It was.
Yeah.
The next one, though, is also Goblins. Again, sometimes you cast a Muxus and you win.
Yeah, I want to say Goblins should win this just because it basically is kind of like format defining.
Yeah.
Coming out this year, and it's still around. Like when Historic hit the scene, people were like, we're making this Goblins deck.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, I wonder if this is actually any good. Okay, well, this is a thing. And still to this day, Goblins is a competitive deck.
Yeah.
And I think if Muxus never has to get banned, it'll continue to be a signpost of the Historic format moving forward.
And it's so cool that it's not so busted that it has to be gotten rid of. At least not yet.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. All right. Goblins will win Deck of the Year. I think an appropriate win.
Oh, man. There's it's like 10 of them and they're eating a dead squirrel.
Are they doing like a creepy little turkey dance around the dead squirrel?
No, they're all just like hopping back and forth. Anyways, okay, sorry.
Megan's witnessing a dark ritual out of her window. Some kind of thing is going on out there.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite new deck of the year, a deck that burst onto the scene this year. My personal favorite, I've talked about a number of times, was Black White Auras featuring Ephemia the Cacophony.
Yeah.
What a fun standard deck that just almost got there, but sadly was tier 2 or tier 3.
Yeah.
But a super fun deck.
And mine is Neostorm. I love me. I love me a combo deck. I love this Neostorm deck. It plays 2 copies of Tuk Tuk Rebel Fort. What isn't to love?
Hey, if your deck's playing Tuk Tuk, I'm all in.
It's so much fun. Again, kind of like Goblins, it's not too busted, but it's a great time.
It was a super great time.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at it. It's too bizarre.
Yep.
Most surprising deck of the year. 9 Lives is on here because who would have ever thought that was a winning deck?
I know. Gregor Kowalski showed up with it, and we were all just like, oh, what?
Oh, what are you doing?
What? But it's good. Then a bunch of people played it at the Arena Open in the best of one, and they're like, this deck is sick for best of one and Historic.
Yep, absolutely.
So cool.
I also put Yorion on this list because if you will recall, when Yorion decks first happened, people were like, no way with that drawback are those decks actually going to be good. No way. Turns out, yes way.
Yes way.
Yorion's drawback, in quotation marks, not a drawback
at all, it turns out.
Nope.
Next up, we have Drama of the Year.
Well, if you're a Magic player,
quote-unquote drama.
know there's nothing the community loves more than drama and hating the game that they love. So
we're not going to acknowledge any of the hating.
There's so many dramas you could choose from.
Yes.
But our personal favorite drama was the dumbest drama of them all.
LSV's burritos. Like a bit that will live on in infamy.
So when LSV was gifted some free burritos from Wizard of the Coast because he's eating them on screen, and people are like, wait a second, you're sending him free burritos. What about my free burritos? This is anarchy.
What a world. What a world where
Give
you
me a
can't
break. That's what I have to say.
be for someone just getting a free burrito. Next up is Best Crossover. Slash
Yeah,
the
we're
only
not
well-received
talking
crossover. No, that's not true. The Godzilla one was also very well-received.
Yeah, people like Godzilla too, and we'll probably be seeing more of these if 2020 is any indication. This
But
best crossover,
our favorite by far,
number one, Bob Rosslands.
Bob Rosslands. Oh, I was like, the moment when I heard, it was one of those moments where I was like, this is a thing that is literally too good to be true.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like they would never be able to lock that down, but they did.
Do those
and
things
wonderful
exist? And it
secret lair.
turns out the answer is yes. Things that are too good to be true exist, and they are the Bob Rosslands.
Yeah, and you can play with them on Arena, which is really cool. And it's just like, Bob Ross, what a wonderful, pure, good thing that exists in the world.
Yes.
Now we get to have a little piece of his goodness in Magic the Gathering, which
And
I
we
think is
need
really
it.
neat. We do. It's so true.
Next,
The next category is Nonstop Banger of the Year, the Seb McKinnon Award.
yes, named in honor of obviously the painter of nonstop bangers himself, Seb McKinnon. This year it goes to Sagas.
Yay, Sagas. Well, this might not be the year you debuted. It was the year you were solidified into being a part of the magical landscape from here unto the unknown future. Sagas, we love you so much. Never go anywhere.
They're just great. This is a year that we saw so many great sagas, like Elspeth Conquers Death. Even Elspeth's
Iconic.
Nightmare, an uncommon saga, making it into some standard play. Getting to see the
Birth of
Akroan
Meletus.
War.
A Crone War,
Yes.
absolutely.
So much
Critical
cool stuff.
sideboard card. Yeah.
Yes,
We love them.
sure.
Please come back for many happy returns.
Yes.
Sagas.
And finally my favorite one of the year, which is the That Was This Year award.
So appropriate in a year when time isn't real as well.
In case you missed last episode, there was something that Maria thought happened 1.5 years ago. There was a text Maria thought that I sent her 1.5 years ago, and I sent it to her in September.
Yep. Which, I mean, I think you could make an argument before the Supreme Court that September was 1.5 years ago. And I think it would be fair. I think you would be supported.
Yeah.
You might get a minority, but you would definitely get some judges to vote for you on that opinion.
Some stuff that just as I was browsing through, like looking through these other categories, that I was like, that was this year?
This year?
Narset of the Ancient Way. We saw Narset again. Who remembers?
Unbelievable.
And I love Narset. But that happened this year, and I forgot.
The Garuda deck happened this year, which seems like it was 1,000 years ago.
Absolutely. Like you said, that happened this year, and I was like, okay. Jumpstart. We almost completely forgot about Jumpstart.
Yeah, Jumpstart, unfortunate victim of the pandemic for sure.
Absolutely. Happened this year.
I was very excited about that.
And we almost forgot about it entirely.
Yeah.
That Vigilance deck with that one card. You remember?
What are you talking about?
Okay. You remember in Ikoria, you can draft main Caracal and alert Heat Bonder, and then what's that card that I'm thinking of? Solid Footing.
Solid Footing. Mm-hmm.
The flash enchantment. +1/+1.
That was a great deck.
And if they have Vigilance, they assign damage based on their toughness.
Yeah, I love that
That deck was so much fun. That was this year. That was this year and not one full lifetime ago.
What an incredible year.
It was.
Using that word in all of its forms.
What an unbelievable year. In so many ways, completely unbelievable.
Happy Chrimbys, everybody.
Yes.
I think the Chrimbys this year, we can see that 2020 was a fantastic year for Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, every definition of that word. And we talked about the upkeep, but what a roller coaster.
What a roller coaster.
High highs, low lows, great Chrimbys.
And everything in between.
Still thinking about a good riddance present for 2021?
Yeah, you really should. You really should be. And another great place to get that good riddance gift for yourself or your friends is Ultra Pro.
Ultra Pro, fantastic sponsor of this show.
Yes.
They've got everything you want in Magic with all of the best art from the game on their officially sanctioned products.
You can say good riddance to 2020, but never say good riddance to your cards because Ultra Pro will keep them protected.
They sure will. We proved that earlier this year with a cool battle draft video. I want to, like, if you got a gift card that was like for anything, like if you got a Visa gift card or something this Christmas, think about Ultra Pro.
Take it on over there and get yourself some cool stuff to protect all of your Magic gear and celebrate your favorite art.
Yeah, Ultra Pro, super awesome. Available at Card Kingdom, your local game store, or basically the internet. Well, everybody, that's episode 414 of Good Luck High Five. Here we are, our last episode of 2020, Megan.
We made it to the last Monday of 2020.
Can I let you know something?
Yeah.
2020, not only was there a global pandemic, but we survived as Good Luck High Five through this absolutely unbelievable year. Yeah. Plus 2 different moves to 2 different new offices.
A complete flooding.
We survived a flood
sometimes
of our office.
I selectively edit that out of my memory.
Yeah, that was this year.
It happened, and
thinking back on it, I'm kind of like in awe that we managed to secure a new building, have it flood, and have some of our equipment destroyed, find a new building, move into that new building, find new furniture and everything to go into this new building, set it up, get ready to go, record remotely when virus is high. Go. I mean, like, can you believe that?
No, I honestly can't.
We did all that this year.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Just unbelievable. And the reason we could do it is because our sponsors stood by us and because of everybody who stood by us on patreon.com/GLHF Magic, all of our listeners and everybody who told somebody else about our show this year.
Yes.
I just want to say, like, this year has been so hard and so terrible for so many millions of reasons. Yeah. But because you stood by us and helped us continue to do what we do, we're able to continue bringing you the show every single week this year.
And if you are like, I want to support you, but I can't do it financially right now because it is a global pandemic, tell someone else about the show. Go and leave a review for it wherever you listen to your podcasts, over on iTunes, over on other places. What's the word that I'm looking for? Stitcher, thank you. You know, other places on the internet. Find a place on the internet where our podcast exists. Say something nice.
Yeah, and we really truly hope to have 2021 be a new rebirth, like where we're being back in our new office.
For us,
for you,
for the freaking world,
Magic.
man.
Absolutely. So thank you times a million for sticking by us in 2020 through all of the bumps in the road. And here's to a better 2021.
It better be.